I'm at peace with who I became as a person, developed as a person. And no one can tell me that there wasn't any belief or use in trying over these last, 7-8 years to change who I was in the past.
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk MMA, and I have a special guest. Finally, I have Michael Beast Mode Humphrey. What is up,
What's
brother?
up, guys?
How are you?
Not much. I'm feeling good. 6 days out. I'm already on point. Championship weight, half pound down.
You're feeling good.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling amazing.
Well, we actually met in person. A lot of times I don't get to meet people ahead of time, but we did meet in person. We met at Conquer 4 back in June, and we've been trying to kind of get this together, so I'm excited to get this started. But as I always like to do, for everyone, it's new for me, new for a lot of the people that watch this. Let's start from the beginning as far as your mixed martial arts career. Where would you say it started?
When I started wrestling and fell in love with the sport of wrestling. I started with freestyle wrestling my 6th grade year. And my first year, my coach saw promise in me. I went 32-10. And my 10 losses were to top 10 opponents in the state in freestyle. And I lost to the Greco-Roman state champion that year. Came back the next year and the 2 years that following and went undefeated. And so my coach allowed me to go to state and everything, and just fell in love with it from there. And I hated football, I hated basketball. I just fell in love with wrestling. And I was told that after 8th grade that I wouldn't be able to do freestyle anymore because there wasn't going to be many kids my age. They would do high school wrestling and then take a break. And so I was like, I want to take a break though. And so I would have to find supplement for that. And so I started doing Jujitsu in high school when I wasn't doing folk style wrestling and stuff like that.
Let me ask you, where is this happening? Because I recall you're from El Dorado Hills, like Sacramento area. Is that where this is?
Yeah. So I moved from Northern California in the boonies up in Humboldt.
Okay.
So I wrestled for Ferndale Wrestling Club. My coach was Kenny Simpson. Badass. Oh man. Badass coach. Really showed me discipline and how to humble yourself, after a loss or even a win. You never had your head down after a win or a loss, Yeah. And so it was always cool. But back to the supplementing.
Because you started from wrestling.
I started
high school time?
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, I started Jiu-Jitsu my freshman year.
Okay.
And I wasn't very committed to it because I was still doing wrestling, and so I was more focused on the wrestling part. And then when Jiu-Jitsu was happening, it was strictly like when wrestling season wasn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so for a while I started doing that. I started at Gracie Manteca, I actually started at Humboldt Bay Jiu-Jitsu up north, and then now I go to Kovars Satori Academy here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And then occasionally we'll make the trip down to Cesar Gracie Manteca. It's one of the Gracie schools.
Yeah, I noticed that when I looked at you online, I know that Kovars probably like your main spot where you're kind of getting
Kovars my main
together. Manteca, I live in Lathrop, so I'm fairly close to that school actually. But that's where you kind of get a little more jiu-jitsu in mind. So
yeah, that's where I get a little more. Yes, I still go to both. The one in Manteca it's very occasional, and that's like after this fight, when I get my gas money, I'll make a few trips down there while I have that gas money,
There you go.
And then it'll be back to work and back to training with Kovars.
Well, let's get started with your career now. So far, you're still staying as an amateur. You're 3-1, and your very first fight was in April 2014. versus you got a guy that you fought twice, Kenneth Jackson. You've had three round wars with the guy. But how about overall? How would you kind of consider that 3-1, that first 4 fights that you've had? How would you kind of group that and describe that?
I would say that my first 5 fights, or first 4 fights, sorry. You know, I feel like they went really well. I made some stupid decisions in the beginning of my first year of my career. You know, jumping up 2 weight classes when I definitely shouldn't have, being 5'9". You know, it was definitely not the thing to do. And I realized that after I broke my jaw against one of my opponents who outweighed me by like 25 pounds.
Was that versus Brandon Jessup?
Yes, it was.
No way.
Yes, it was.
So I was going to ask you about your weight, because I think this is a big part of your story, and, you know, just like life, and that's why I love the journeys of fighters, because it's like the hardest journey that I feel I can follow.
Mm-hmm.
And as I looked through that, your first 2 fights were at 160, and then you went up to 170 and fought this giant of a man. Like, even if anyone watches that versus Brandon Jessup, you just see how big the guy is. He even like grappled him to the ground, but he was just so big that he just kind of muscled you over and all of that. Is that basically where? Well, not even, because then you fought Kenneth again at 170. So what was going on in your mind during this time?
So for me, I was just not committed to cutting weight. I just wasn't dedicated at all. I thought I could hang with the 70-pounders, you know. I came back from a broken jaw. I thought I was a badass. No.
Well, that's pretty badass. You did win your next fight.
I don't belong in that division, you know. Yes, I did. I had a wonderful corner, Steven the Gremlin Gruber.
Yes.
Out of MMA Gold. He's not only my cornerman. He's one of my best friends. Like, I've known the guy for almost 4.5 years now, and this was before when I first started fighting. You know, and before I became an eclampus vitus, what he is, and you know, before I came all this and moved out here, me and him were friends and everything. So he's helped me develop a lot in my career.
Well, you were there to support him at Conquer 4 when we met.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? And I remember that day because your energy level, I mean, people watching this right now probably won't believe me, but I'll try to paint the picture. Your energy level was so high, you just basically wanted to get in that cage and fight anybody. It didn't matter who it was. You just wanted to fight. You wanted to throw some hands. And I was like, holy shit, like, this guy is like, I would love to do the interview, and that's why I've been waiting for this. But at that time, this is June, were you already knowing you were going to cut down to 155, which has been kind of your journey since then? You've been posting pictures of you losing weight, loving your new body, I bet. Like, how's all that been?
Oh man, it's actually been one hell of a journey. I actually, the reason I cut so much weight is I actually went through a really horrific incident where I got super sick, developed an upper respiratory infection, and actually had partial lung collapse in both of my lungs. So they filled up with about a half a pound of mucus and collapsed.
When did that happen?
June, July, August.
No way. Because you did kind of mention you had like a fight, but then something happened. So these last few months have been kind of a
happened literally right after I had a casino fight out in Reno, which I won. I submitted the guy in 1 minute and 33 seconds, and it was just it was a smoker bout. So
sure.
It was just one of those, like, you know, I wanted to hop in, and they needed a last-minute guy at 160, so I ended up cutting 2 pounds in my car on the way there, and went, and the guy was some garage karate kid, and I took him to the ground and choked him out in 1 minute 33 seconds. It was more just to knock the rest off, and now I'm glad that, you know, I finally got on a fight card. I was supposed to fight in Reading back in April, and it fell through because I tore an Achilles tendon. And now I'm back, and I'm finally fighting in April, and everyone's super pumped that I'm fighting at my original weight class.
155 pounds. And has the, you know, obviously losing the weight, you're probably needing to diet differently. You're needing to do a lot more cardio, all these type of things. Are these things kind of that helped you with the whole lung issue you're having? Are you are you better
actually,
with that?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a lot better. I definitely had to switch up a lot of my dieting habits. I don't drink sodas at all very much anymore. And if I do, they're little like 60 mini like sodas that are like 8 ounces.
Just to get the craving out of the way.
Just to get that craving out of the way, and I have figured that those little 8 ounces put on 0.4 on our scale. So I figured that's how much I have to work off if I'm gonna drink one of those sodas. And so it's all a mental game too. You just gotta if you're not hungry, you're not hungry. And if you're not hungry enough to eat an apple, then, or, if you're not hungry enough to drink some water, and shit like that, then you're not hungry.
And there's that
stuff, and you have to push that up there. Yeah.
And that takes time,
And, there's certain times. Oh, yeah. Definitely takes time.
Because I actually dropped the soda thing and I just drink water. And it took a while. You got to kind of like wean off of it. I used to smoke cigarettes way back in the day. You got to kind of, you don't just throw away the pack. You got to smoke less, so on and so forth. Look at you drinking high quality water. We're 1 week away. I'm guessing your weight is looking good, like you said.
I'm a half a pound. I fluctuate between being a half pound under and about a pound and a half above. And this fight just got upgraded to a contender fight. So when I win, I will be fighting for the Rogue Fights 155 title in April. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also got a big announcement. I'm fighting my camo debut in January, and my camo debut is for the 209 beatdown 155 title.
Are you serious?
So, dead serious, dude, bro. I'm fighting down in Stockton.
Well, the 209 beatdown, it happens all the time. Obviously, I live in Lathrop, so I'm always catching at least that they're doing the events. They do them fairly often. And even when I met you, I remember you were like, well, I got this fight, and then I got that fight. I mean, you're always like planning these ahead. You're looking to stay busy. And that's what kind of excited me because you're still in the beginning. So I got 2 more questions for you. Right now you're an amateur. You're obviously hungry from when I met you. Right now it seems like the more focused, maybe a little bit more mature Michael Humphreys with the lower, it sounds like you're figuring it out the way you want to move forward. What are kind of like your overall goals? Like what is the end goal? What are you fighting for?
Well, I know that I wanted to start fighting in camo to start developing towards a pro career because I do want to make my professional debut at 145 pounds. That's my ultimate goal. I don't have this mindset to, be the number 1 in the UFC, or anything like that. I want my name to be known around the world. As a class act fighter, someone who carries himself humbly and, goes out there and kicks ass.
You know what? That's
honest to God, that's my ultimate goal.
That's a great answer because a lot of the times I ask this question and, I get a variety of things. My favorite fighter is the humble fighter. I think martial arts should be about respect. That's what it was always about. So nowadays, people are talking shit just to basically make some noise and all these things. I'm not, it's entertaining, but I'm not a big fan of it. So for you to say even right now that your goal is to be that and to be seen as that, I think that's fucking awesome. I think that's pretty cool, and I respect that a lot, man. I respect that a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's pretty cool because hopefully my girlfriend's not watching right now, but at this fight, I'm actually going to be proposing to my girlfriend.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to make sure you keep her off of YouTube because I'm going to be putting this on for this week. It's fight week. But, dude, that's huge news, too. You better make sure you take her phone away or something. That's huge news, and I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah, and it's, so that's one of the other things, too. So I'm going to make her my missus. And so I'm really stoked for that. And, it's just everything's finally lining up for me. And, I got a fight family, and then I've got my coaches I work with. Like Steven has said he's going to be there for me for throughout my career, and that means a lot to me. And I'm there throughout the rest of his career, and just huge shout out because like when I first did meet you guys were hella chill, and I know I was a little rambunctious. I had a little cage fever.
No, well, you know what?
But
I got to tell you right here, right now, and this is probably one of my favorite parts to kind of see as far as me being part of your journey. When I first met you, it's easy to say, like, this is a guy, if I was running out in the street or whatever else, I'm not going to fuck with. Like, this guy means business. But to see this side of you, which is only a handful of months later, you're losing weight, you know, you're about to propose, which is a huge deal because, you know, that comes with building a family, which I'm familiar with. Like you said it best. You're lining everything up. You're putting together all the pieces of how you want your life to be. And I love it, man. What I find my favorite part is a martial artist. And that's someone who just knows respect, gives respects, and then receives respect because of it. And to see that transformation, it's a fucking beautiful thing, man. I think that's what it's all about. And you look happier than probably ever. Is that the case?
yeah, I'm actually. It's just I'm at peace. And a perfect song to describe it would be there's this new song that came out. It's "Silence" by Marshmello and Khalid, and the chorus it says, "I'm at peace with the violence. Don't tell me there's no use in trying." And what that stands for is like, I've been fighting for the last year. I'm at peace with who I am as a fighter. I'm at peace with who I became as a person, developed as a person. And no one can tell me that there wasn't any belief or use in trying over these last, 7-8 years to change who I was in the past. Because I didn't grow up the very nicest, to put it. I spent 2.5 years in DJJ. So that's a little bit of my background, and to come from that background and now be fighting and see how unhumble and disrespectful I was as a teenager to now how I am as an adult, even as a young adult, it's an amazing transformation.
Dude,
right.
That's amazing, man.
Feels good.
It's very beautiful to hear because it's a violent sport as it is. It's brutal. It's all this, and that's why with all the trash talk and all that, the coolest part is for you to share the cage with someone, shake their hands at the end of the day, no matter what happens, and that's what I enjoy about martial arts. That's what I enjoy about, and that's kind of what I bring to it. I don't care about the talking shit or this or that. May the best man win, and it's all about respect at the end of the day, and
yep.
You're a perfect example of it, and this is just the beginning. You haven't even turned into a pro yet, so there's plenty more. Michael Beast Mode Humphrey, but for now, this is fight week. This Saturday, you're going to be fighting at Wind River. They are calling it Fight Night 37. This is in Reading. You're going to be fighting at 155, but if I understand correctly, as you go forward, you're going to only be reaching the goal at being a featherweight, 145 pounds. Is that the goal?
Sure. 145 pounds is my ultimate goal for my pro debut.
Dope. So 2018 has got your name all over it.
2018 has got my name all over it. 2018 is going to be my bitch.
Yeah, but we're going to start this Saturday. You're going against Rocky Caveman Batten. That is your
Yes, Rocky
opponent?
Caveman Batten out of Hangtown MMA. Yeah. I don't really know much about him, but I do know that having Steven in my corner, he's taking another L because I haven't lost with him.
There you go. Hey, you're putting all the pieces in a row. You're forming your life together, and it's like you said, you're at peace, and that's a beautiful thing. Michael, I got to thank you again for all the back and forth. We've been trying to make this happen, but I'm glad we finally did. I'll continue going on the journey, man, and again, thank you for this time today.
Yeah, thank you, brother. It was great.
All right, brother. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Best of luck this Saturday, okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right,
talk to you soon. All right, peace.
Well, there you go. Man, that is crazy. I have to tell you guys, and I'll throw out some pictures and stuff, but you can just tell this guy's a fucking badass. I would not fuck with this guy if I was walking down the street or something like that. Super nice guy, though. When I met him, he was just super nice guy, just high energy, all that good stuff. But that's what martial arts is about. You know, it's about being humble. It's not about, oh, I know all these fighting techniques and I can kick your ass and so on and so forth. These fights are tests for that individual. They have an opponent that also is going through a test for themselves, and they go against each other for our entertainment, but for their personal growth. And bam, look at that right there. Just, he's still young. He's still an amateur. He still has so much to go, but he's got the right idea. So gotta love that. Michael Beast Mode Humphrey, look out for him. I will keep you up to date with him as well here on this channel and podcast. But until next time, peace.